1996, Art Bell, the host of the well-known American radio program Coast to Coast, received a mysterious call during the show.
I set out to find young Mr. Markham, and I found him. Michael, are you there?
Yeah.
Good.
The caller was named Mike McComb, and he claimed to have created a time machine, but a year later, he disappeared. Special note, the video content is an unverified real-life case. Please enjoy the story itself. Mike McCallum is from Missouri, United States. He does not have a formal scientific research background, studied electrical engineering in college, and is insanely obsessed with electronic products. Mike claimed in the call that initially he was just creating an electric arc. The arc generated by high voltage electricity would move upward along two electrodes that were not far apart until it broke at the farthest point, creating a new arc at the bottom of the electrodes. During the experiment, Mike needed to constantly adjust the distance between the electrodes. Apart from that, changes in air pressure, humidity, and even dust in the air could affect the generation and duration of the arc. So Mike decided to use a laser to heat the air around the conductor to achieve laser-controlled arc generation. But this idea did not succeed. Just as Mike was about to disconnect, he saw something strange hovering above the equipment. It looked like distorted air. Mike threw a screw over, and the screw just disappeared. But after about 1 second, the screw fell out of this strange field. Mike repeated it several times, and each time the result was the same. Just as he wanted to experiment further, the equipment burned out due to overload. Mike knew he seemed to have discovered something, so he decided to expand his equipment. However, a larger device meant more power, a more powerful transformer. Not wealthy, Mike called a few friends and went to the substation to steal a transformer. The new equipment was completed a few weeks later. As usual, Mike started the machine, creating a field several feet wide. He threw some small objects into the field, and this time they disappeared and never reappeared. But just then, Mike's doorbell rang. The police had come because of Mike's theft of the transformer.
A Missouri worker set out to make a time machine on his back porch. The Stanbury police say the voltage that Markham had diverted into the contraption caused power interruptions in and around the northwest Missouri town of about 1,300. Markham was arrested January 29th on a felony charge of stealing the transformers from a power generating station in Kings City. He pleaded guilty and last month was placed on 5 years probation. Police said the transformers had a capacity of 12 to 76,000 volts each, enough to easily cause electrocution or an explosion. That's according to the Stanbury Police Chief Tom Hampton.
Mike appeared on the Art Bell show, not because he proactively contacted the program like others, but because Art Bell reached out to Mike after learning about the incident. As the host of a mysterious stories program, Art Bell knew very well what makes a good story and how to obtain these good stories. Therefore, no matter how incredible the stories he heard on the show were, he always gave the storytellers enough respect.
How do you feel about the possibility, Michael, of somebody coming along and being your, even more than this, maybe contributing money to build a great big gigantic version?
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be like a dream come true.
Since Mike had already been arrested and given probation, he absolutely could not obtain experimental acclaim through illegal means as before. Fortunately, the program was listened to by millions of people that day and the next day. Mike received a large number of calls. Some people were willing to donate transformers. Some offered experimental environments and venues, and others directly donated money to Mike. However, for a long time afterward, no one heard from Mike. Just when people thought Mike had run off with the money, he appeared again on a knowledge TV program. Mike had established a perfect experimental site, acquired specialized factory equipment, and finally built a newer, larger, upgraded version of the time machine.
2 cylinders, 1 cylinder inside the other. With another, basically a circle of magnetic electromagnets around it. So basically you got a bunch of plasma like inside of it with a magnetic field rotating it.
You know what you are describing. I'm sure you've heard stories of the Philadelphia experiment, right?
Sure.
Well, they described a similar electronic setup.
The new equipment also underwent new tests. Mike would still throw some things into the factory, and after disappearing for a short period, they would reappear again, but only to the east or west of the original location. Mike believes this might be related to the Earth's rotational magnetic field. After completing tests on non-living entities, Mike conducted tests on living animals. He discovered that by changing the voltage and the speed of the magnet's rotation, he could control the distance of the object's displacement. In other words, the duration of the object's time travel. He could even control how long these objects would disappear before reappearing. Now for him, he wanted to take the most important step. Mike planned to use himself as the first human test subject for the project. After this phone call, Mike vanished without a trace.
The media did pay attention, and the media did, including me, nationally went on the air and said that man is gone. We can't find him.
Adabel was highly interested in Mike's experiment. After learning that Mike had invited those who had previously funded him to visit the laboratory, he contacted those who had supported Mike and found out the location of Mike's experiment. However, Mike was not in that warehouse, and no one knew his whereabouts. It was as if he had vanished from the world. Could it be that he really ran away with the money this time? But 2 years later, he appeared again on Adabel's show.
Mike stated that he entered the field himself, and when he woke up, he found himself lying in a field, saying that he didn't know where this place was, and he couldn't even remember who he was. He spent a long time wandering aimlessly, and gradually began to recover some memories. Eventually, he arrived at a small town and realized he was over 100 kilometers directly east of the laboratory. He didn't carry any identification, nor did he have money or a credit card, so he decided to work locally to earn money and save enough for the fare back to the laboratory. It was during this work that he learned he had arrived 2 years later.
All right, everybody, that's it. Everybody in the world wanted an update on Madman Markham, and now you've got it. He's not going to stop. What's next for Madman? Only time will tell. Good night.
Mike's experiment continues. This time he decided to bring some items, such as a phone, records, and paper money. He would take these items and lie in the metal chamber, conducting the time travel experiment along with the chamber to prevent losing items in the unknown process. Soon, the new experiment approached again, and Mike announced the new plan on their website, then completely disappeared. This time there was no twist. Mike Markham never appeared again, and no one knows his current situation. For a period of time afterward, Artebel kept inquiring about any news regarding Mike, but the only piece of information was during a radio program when he received another unsettling call. The caller said he found an article in a newspaper from the year 1930 describing a drowned male body discovered on a beach inside a strange metal barrel. The only item on him was a peculiar rectangular device, and since no one knew who he was, the report referred to him as a John Doe. But some people think his real name is Mike Markham.